All right, let me give you this idea that how we got here, all right? So we started that conversation from the episode 1 that we had two groups of people. Some of them were people talkers and some of them were thing talkers, and we said how they would start the conversation, how they talk about it. And then we start talking about their decider functions, like their logic and their feelings, that how their logic is working or how their feeling is working. There were 4 different types that we talked about. And in the previous episode, we talked about their observation. Right, decider functions are only 50% of somebody's personality, but the other 50% is how they do observe things. And we said in the previous episode that for any action or reaction, you need a pair of functions of a decision and an observation. You want to do something? Before that, you think how to do it. You observe how to do it. All right, you observe, you decide, you act. So this is only about observation, that how observation is actually working. And we have 4 different forms of observation. Sensory observations, which we have 2 of them, and intuitive observation. So we have the other 2 like the first one. In this episode, we're going to talk about sensory observation. So what do you think is really based on who you are, right? I mean, like in the previous episode, we said all we do is a reflection of our internal functions, right? We're talking about those groups of people which are always can deeply focus on sensory stuffs. And what do I mean by sensory? I mean physical stuffs. I mean the things that our sensors can feel, like I can touch my phone, and my phone is a sensory thing. And the things that is very important to group A is the details of everything. They can pay attention to the details very easy. These are the people that are very comfortable with details. They're always talking about sensory things and they always bring up the details out of it. They try to mentioning details and they always go for it, and they try to save the information, which the details in that conversation is more highlighted than the other parts. For instance, take a look at this hypothetical conversation that I'm going to have with myself. Like 2 friends are there and they start this conversation, and one of them is telling to the other is that, did you notice that Julia's hair color, like it was blonde before, but now it's red? And the ones that has no clue about sensory stuff is just like, really? I didn't really get that. I mean, like, because cliche-wise, he does not really understand the details, but our friend here is a sensory person and he can get sensory stuffs really easy, like the color of his friend's hair changed, like the decoration here is changed, like these things. They usually talk about the things that happened before into their life. So they're not usually talking about hypothetical situation, but rather talking about the things that happened before. Like they say, yeah, my friend had an experience, which that experience gave me this idea that I know now. And you can simply ask, did it happen to you? They say no, but I don't need that things happened to me to be aware of. But they experienced it before, and they always become, and they even might become a very good storytellers. Why? Because they do care about the past, the things that happened in the past. And if you start a conversation with them, you don't really see any new and fresh idea there all the time. But the things that are related to the past, like, yeah, like 5 years ago this thing happened, like we went there and all these sensory things happened, good memories that we had. Did you remember that things happened to us? And if you're not a sensory person, like you get bored with that sort of conversation. But if you also taking care of sensory, you get along with that really easy, and even you start your own form of storytelling. They tend to be more organized than before, and they don't really like the plans that they didn't know about it in advance. they tend to really have plans for everything in their life and writing it down or whatever, but they like the plan. And one of the dark things about their life is if they get stuck with something in the past, they always try to bring that stuff into their head, and it's start to make them upset. And these people that we call them in terms of objective personality system, savior, introverted, sensory people, they have a very, very and powerful mind in terms of remembering things and memorizing things. We're talking about people that care about stuff in a wide range. So wide range of sensory things. Still, these people are so comfortable with details, they're always talking about details, and they're still like group A are the ones that they're talking about the stuffs that were there into their life. But the differences that they have, group B and group A, in this very particular things, group A are the ones who are always trying to bring the stuffs which they had and they experienced in their life. But group A are the ones that try to experience new, all right? So group A is like everything that they talk and everything they want is there into their life. They don't want to get to new things, and they may stick with the things that they know for a very long time, 50 years, 60 years, whatever. But group B, the people that have this form of, in terms of objective personality system, we call them extroverted sensory people. They try to bring new stuffs and new information and new details all the time to their life. They tend to show off a little bit because extroverted sensory means they care about details which are outside of their body in an extroverted way. For example, great bodybuilders, great sportsmen, like a bodybuilder, imagine a bodybuilder, they're always posing, all day and night in front of the mirror, because the details of their body, which are in the extroverted side of their personality, is very interesting to them. And they try to show it to others as well, because they work for it. And the way that extroverted sensory or extroverted sensing is working is like they can focus on different things simultaneously. I told you earlier. And imagine a Formula One driver. They have to focus really hard on many things, not only driving, but the road, but everything that they have to do with the car and with the race. So people with extroverted sensory or extroverted sensing can become a very, very good drivers as well. So cliche-wise, we're still talking about it. Even people with introverted sensing can become a very good drivers as well. But extroverted sensing is a lot more natural to them. Of course, it comes very natural to their personality. Both of these groups have a great passion for sensory stuffs, with the things that are related to the physical world, like going to the trips, being in the nature, like sports, like exercising, like physical activities in general, I can say. Still, these are all cliches, but whatever we said in terms of physical world, Group B are more concerned about them than Group A. Why? Because extroverted sensory means having a great passion for extroverted boundaries, like every place on earth they like to visit. Like they become a very good mountain climbers. Like if you ask, well, why do you do that? It's because it gives them very good feelings to be in the nature. People with the introverted sensory still are fond of these things, but less than Group B. So Group B people that tend to having a little bit of showing off, they go for luxurious stuff as well, having good cars, good home, very luxurious lifestyle. So you can see these things in many ways, like the celebrities' lives, the sportsmen's. You can find many of these people that have savior extroverted sensory. Hope these are not really that confusing. I will come up with lots of more details about them, so don't worry, just follow the videos and have your own notes, and try to see this pattern in people, and we'll solve all the problems together. Thanks a lot, and thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends if you like, and we'll see you in the next episode.